Folks, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse live at E3. I'm Sam from the Treehouse, and joining me on stage, I've got Audrey and Ed.
Hey.
And we're going to take a deeper look at Fantasy Life. This is a game that we showed you a little bit of yesterday, but we're going to show you some all-new content that you can check out in this game when it comes out for your Nintendo 3DS. Ed, you want to get us started?
Cool. Yeah, I do. I just lost my trailer. That's all right. I was going to start with that.
Oh no,
Because
it's such a pretty trailer.
It's a cool trailer because just a quick, recap for maybe everyone didn't see us yesterday. But it's from Level 5. These guys make the most adorable, intense, deep, layered games. It's super cool. And the trailer sort of highlights all the different life classes, which is sort of the focal point of this game in choosing between different styles. That I think, honestly, it turns into a little bit of a Rorschach test. Your personality really shows off. So I'm going to jump into, you see my... Should I do B or hey? We can do it. Oh, we
you
can
go
show the trailer? Back. Let's do it.
Awesome. So for folks who weren't here with us yesterday, at its core, this is a really deep RPG experience with a ton of customization. So the idea is that you can create your life, whatever kind of life you want to lead to start with,
Right.
and then swap around. So you can try out a whole bunch of different professions. You can decide how you want to interact with the world, what
Yeah.
you want to find. You can craft. It's a really fun experience. And
Ex-
folks who've seen Intelligent Systems as stuff, they're like, oh, we got a lot of RPG stuff coming out. And it's like level 5, we got a lot of RPG stuff coming out.
Yeah, they're the masters of RPGs, of creating deep, charming worlds full of just adorable characters you can't help but want to talk to all the time.
Yeah, no, these are the folks who gave us Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the Right Witch. They gave us Dragon Quest IX.
The Professor Layton series.
Yeah, they really know
Layton.
these immersive experiences, and especially when it comes to a fantasy setting, they do a really great job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
That
I've
was
got-
for you, Twitch.
I've got myself. Got my character here, and I'm running around. It's nighttime. I'm gonna go out and again, just a quick recap. I have been a previous class, and so I'm all right with a battle class. I'm gonna be able to
Oh, thank
take
goodness.
on.
I thought you were going to pass up the sparkles. It was
Oh,
going to hurt.
Oh, are you kidding me? No. Okay, and so here's obviously it's essential when you're running by these things to see. And look at this, in just this little area, there is so much stuff to pick up. All these resources.
And what life are you living right now?
I'm a miner right now.
Excellent. So minor.
So this is something. And look at these
Oh,
poor
they're so
little
cute.
guys. They run away because I think I actually attacked one of them earlier. and so they remember.
Well, those guys, I love those guys because they're so little, they're so cute and fluffy, and you run on up to them while they're sleeping, and you feel terrible about, putting an arrow in their face, but at the same time, you need the XP,
You need the
the
resources.
dosh,
You do.
and so you told me that you actually run past them a lot of the
I
time,
usually
but
do because I'm.
that's not how I play. I want to level up my character as much as possible.
Yeah, I feel like there's some sort of twisted morality in like not attacking like a carrot that just lets you run by.
We don't know what
But
that carrot would
really-
get up to if you didn't take it
Yeah.
out. That
Yeah,
carrot
I
could be up
mean-
some serious devious
That
stuff.
carrot, I mean, he's the farce. He could be the main villain for all you know.
These guys obviously they're looking for first blood, so I have no qualms about going ahead and taking them out. And see, all this stuff that I'm picking up while I'm doing it, the world, you're interacting with so many elements of this world. There are so many items everywhere, and
It's so hard to pass them up because you can eventually, we'll speak to this in a second, but when you get Blister Rewards, you can eventually expand the number of items that you can hold. But at first, you can hold, I think it's 100 when you start
when
out.
you start, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, well, how am I ever going to fill up 100 spots? But there's so much stuff everywhere that eventually you do, and you actually have to keep upgrading your bag so
Yeah.
that you can hold everything that you find and actually keep crafting with all of it.
And
It's kind of painful when you see the resources and you haven't quite learned how to collect them.
Right.
Just, there's so many things here. I need to
Uh-huh.
get all of you. Like the ore pieces that are hiding over there, those I
Yeah.
would not be able to
it's-
pass up.
Get
It's
those.
painful passing up the ore at first, and finally it's like, oh gosh darn it, I'm just gonna go and learn that skill already. Enough is enough.
And it's really, I mean, this thing, it's got such a fantastic RPG skeleton underneath this amazingly cute facade. And so there you go. I've leveled up using the touch screen here. I'm going to go ahead and assign some points here. And what do we want to do
So that's
here?
the thing about, yeah, when you level up, you get some points to assign to your different stats, strength, vitality, intelligence, and all of these different stats are good for the different skills that you have.
Right.
So say you're a paladin, you're going to up your strength. But you want to be really careful to not just pour all of your points into, you know,
Like
your
I've done.
strength, because then eventually you're going to want to be a miner, you're going to be all these things, and you don't want to just start from square one, have absolutely no points on there because you just pummeled it all into just one stat. So you have to be kind of smart about how you use the points that you earn.
Yeah, it pays to be a little more well-rounded and balanced.
I made that mistake at first. I was like, strength, 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 maybe a little defense, and then I paid for it later. I had to start being actually smart about it.
But then, yeah, I mean, you know, you have to deal with the consequences, even in your fantasy life.
Yeah. Especially
just
if you
how it
wait
goes.
until later in the game where you're pretty far along and you haven't been beefing up the stats that you really
That
should.
you need later
then
on, yeah.
you're gonna a bounty.
All right.
Don't let him
so
get
check
it.
this out.
No,
Look at him beat up
no.
his boss.
He's going after your bounty. He doesn't even care about
Check
you
him out.
anymore. He's like, I just want to mess up your
He
business.
totally turns around. Okay, so that's a bounty. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. But these little bandits, they're cowards.
See, I
But,
feel,
you know-
I feel less bad about you
Oh
attacking
no,
a
he's
bandit.
going after
He's
the bounty
going- see,
now.
check it
Don't
out.
let him do it.
These guys.
So, but the thing about the bounties is that when you fight really big enemies on screen, occasionally they'll leave behind these boxes, and they're called bounties, and you have to protect. No, don't.
Oh,
you just
I was
destroyed
trying.
it.
I was trying to
I've
put
done
my
that a
weapon
million
away.
times.
It happens.
So
All right.
as Ed just showcased for us, they drop these bounties,
I'll
and
find another
either
one.
the enemies or even yourself can actually destroy the bounty. So after it's dropped, you have to pick it up and take it all the way back to the guild office or to wherever the closest place to cash in the bounty is. And if it gets destroyed, then you're out of luck. You're not going to get whatever special item, whatever dosh is in there. So you have to protect it with your life.
Yeah, and along the way, all the enemies are like, ooh, I'm going to smash that.
Yeah, and they have some really, unique and rare items in those bounties a lot of times. Oh no!
It's
Oh,
gone.
it's a bounty massacre today.
It's unbelievable. These guys, they just turn
he
on
has
their
to
own
pay,
so
Ed.
quickly.
He has to pay for that.
Ah,
Get the dosh from his
All right.
blood.
now,
Another bounty, nice.
I will squeeze Dosh from your
You're cleaning
demise.
up. The world is
All
being
right.
kind to you.
All right,
Okay,
so
let's see if Ed can
take
make
this.
it back with this bounty.
And that's the thing. You got to guard this. You can carry 3 of these at a time. So I mean, once you start, you have this little trail of,
Oh,
of
Red Wolf's
bounties
coming at
behind
ya.
you. It
Oh,
really
this
gets
doesn't
to
look
be
good.
it really gets to be challenging to because you can't fight. You have to drop it if you want to take on any enemies. As we're turning to daylight here, and so you suddenly it turns into a very defensive thing here. Look at that guy. Check this out. How
whatever that is,
awesome!
that's
Beware of the
huge.
Napdragon,
How
Ed.
awesome is this dude?
So you had a bad
This is the
experience, I believe, with the
Napdragon.
Napdragon when you first started out, right, Audrey?
Yes, me and the
We've all
Napdragon,
had
we
that
have
Kinda
this
go
great
back.
history. I'm sure I'm not alone. So it's not too far after you start the game, somebody warned you. They're like, hey, so there's this big dragon. He's called the Napdragon, and he's pretty harmless. He just sleeps most of the time, but don't mess with him.
Don't.
Trust me. I don't want to tell you, but just don't mess with him. And I was like, okay, run immediately for the Napdragon and hit him with my sword. And I should have known after the first couple of hits when it did 0 damage, just like clink, clink. I'm like, uh-oh. And then a second later, I was dead, and I didn't even know what had happened. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't mess with the Napdragons.
Yeah, it's one of those things because you're never quite sure. It's like, are they saying this because I should or because I shouldn't?
I thought it was a challenge. It's like,
Right,
oh yeah,
right.
don't mess with the Napdragon. Okay, this is gonna be a great reward. It's gonna be wonderful. And then I learned my lesson. It was sad.
Have you had a chance to go back and revisit the Napdragon, or are you still steering clear of him?
Well, I'm letting him nap for a while, but I will eventually. Eventually, he will have his reckoning. He'll have his day
The
in court.
reckoning of the Napdragon.
So, quick break from bounty traveling
Yeah.
to collect some resources.
He's already pretty
Think about
far,
it,
yeah. So
I
it's kinda-
just can't stop. See, everything,
You
almost
can't pass
everything
it up.
is,
I'm the
is
same
something
way.
that you can exploit some resources or get something out of. And, you're going to be able to use some of these as a tailor life. You're going to be able to use some of these as a cook later on. You're going to be able to sell
Yeah.
a bunch of these if you want to, in that traditional RPG sense. And it's, well, because it's one of those things, it's like, Audrey, you're even talking about, like, upgrading your bag.
Uh-huh.
And it's like even basic things like that. Everything is so true to the spirit of an RPG here, where you're constantly upgrading. That's why you're going to do things like pick up a cook life or become a tailor because you want to be upping all of your skills to get different items, to be able to pull off different moves.
It's like an RPG on steroids. Everything is upgradable. Your dash is upgradable.
It sound like adorable roids.
adorable
roids.
roids. No, yeah, like we were saying, the more you dash, the more your dash stat goes up. The more you use your sword, the more that goes up. Your bow, that goes up. The more you shield. So every little tiny decision you make affects how your character grows.
Yeah. So here I'm at the bounty clerk. So what you do is you've got these, when you get these massive enemies, you go ahead and you bring them in, as long as you protect them the whole way. I mean, that's the thing. It really puts you in a defensive posture, especially once you start linking these things. If you have 3 of these bounties behind you, it's real easy for enemies to just get a couple hits in. And that'll break up your chain, and then you got to either take the enemy out or go back and pick up your bounties again. And it gets to be pretty chaotic pretty quickly.
And like you said, you can't attack while you have the bounties.
Right.
So if you have 3 bounties and there are 3 red wolves right behind you, you're going to have to drop them and somehow keep the wolves off of your bounty while going after them. But you have to, when they're near your bounty, it's really hard to attack them without hitting the bounty yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to be pretty
You can
pretty
definitely
smart about
get some, friendly fire. If you get collateral damage, you're gonna be really upset. That's the thing. If you take down one of these huge bosses and you spend 10 minutes trying to do this, and it takes a lot of leveling up to do, a lot of skill, and you're like, great, I got this bounty. I'm gonna get some sweet items. I'm gonna get some some dosh for this. I finally did it. I'm so excited. And then you pick this thing up, and suddenly, like, these enemies swarm on you and start wailing on your bounty, or you end up, like, trying to attack those guys. And when you do the final blow, as you saw me do on your bounty, it crushes your morale.
Oh yeah, well I remember the sad tale of my very first bounty is I went after this guy who was really way too big for my level because I had just started fairly recently, and so I went after him and it took me forever because I had to keep going, getting a few slices in and then retreating and healing because he was way out of my league. But I finally nailed him down and he dropped this box, and I'd never seen those boxes in the game before, and so I went up to it and I was like, ooh, what's this? Maybe it has treasure inside, slash. And then not too long after that, someone told me, like, hey, have you found these boxes? Those are bounties. Don't destroy them. It's like, oh no.
A few days too late.
I'll never know what that bounty was. It'll haunt me.
It's true, yeah. And you lose that, and it's just like, no. So I've actually changed life classes here. I've become a naked woodcutter, so now I'm...
And so while you're in here, it's a
myself
good
in
place to show off. As we said, there are customization options. You can inform how your character looks when you start the game. But there's actually all kinds of different outfits that you can buy for your characters too. Each class sort of has their special outfit, that ups their stats and stuff. But there's also just really fancy and cool and cute looking outfits that you can buy to dress your character up, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm a paladin and I look like all of the other paladins. You can just make your character look however you want, and you can do it by stats, or you can just do it to whatever floats your boat, whatever you think looks cool.
It's pretty sweet that you can take a lot of pride in your equipment too, especially when it's like, this is the sword I forged. I collected the ore.
Yeah, that's huge.
I got it ready to go.
Totally.
I made this sword. It's awesome. And depending on how you do, you can get like better quality weapons out of that system.
You get this strange sense of ownership when you've gone out, and it's like something. It's like my dad would be proud. I went out, I'm on the ore myself.
I made an honest living for
That's
myself.
right. Honest fancy life. I pay my fancy life taxes. And you go back, you get this stuff, you bring it back to if you're a blacksmith. We toyed around with the blacksmith a little bit yesterday, and you take it back to the shop and you forge these things and you get these things. You could have bought some of these items, but some of the things are things that you're not going to be able to buy, and it's just so satisfying to be able to.
If you want to get the really cool stuff, you're going to have to learn that skill. You can't just leave it up to the shops. The shopkeepers are going to hold back on the really good items.
They often do, yeah.
I know you were saying it's a more economical way to go sometimes too, when it's like I could buy a potion or I could just go make a potion.
No, I hate spending my money. I want to hold on to it, so I just want to make stuff myself and call it a day.
Right.
Rack up the dodge.
So now I've switched to woodcutter, and I was hanging out in this area earlier, but without that skill, you're not able to learn it. So you got to go through the system of every single. So many of these trees you're staring at a vast vista, dare I say, of resources that can be accessible to you or not, depending on what skills you've learned. And
you can only be told you don't have the correct skill so many times before it just finally gets to you, and you have to go and learn that skill so you can finally start doing all these things you're having to pass up.
so we're gonna go to Hey Ho here.
And that's your life master for woodcutting.
For the woodcutter, so and this is something each life class has its own life master, obviously.
It has its own little story.
The cool thing is that each one, there's 12 little weird, kind of story arcs, and they're all very cute.
And they all weave around the main story in this really interesting way.
They go on a lot of them. These individual arcs like really sort of kind of build you up to be able to take on the main story. I'm gonna look at some of these other things. Some of the quests you can see here while you're switching lives. These are all the butterfly requests that are gonna happen on the critical path. So these are all the things that I've done with the main story thus far.
And so for anyone who wasn't watching yesterday, the butterfly is one of the first characters that you meet in the
Right.
game.
It's gonna be your
and
sidekick.
She is so hilarious, and we won't give anything away, but she's a really special butterfly. Obviously, she
significant.
talks. She talks.
Talking
You can already
butterfly.
tell right off the bat she's kind of a special lady, but but yeah. So she has all of these quests, and she's really curious, and so you have those quests on top of the quests that you have just for your specific life class. Each life class has all its own set of quests. So if you have 5 different life classes under your belt, then you have all of these different quests and
huge
challenges
list.
that you're gonna go after on top of the main quest and the butterfly quest. So you're gonna
And
have plenty to do.
on top of that, it's just like a content stack, because you've got then these random ones that you can just walk up to. There's so many NPCs that are active in this world, and so here's under other requests. These are things that I've just picked up by talking to people. And you can do this in any life class. You can do this at any time when you're running past this person. They'll get a little bubble over their head, like, hey, you want to talk? I'll jump in, say, we're chatting, and it's like, hey, I need 10 radishes to impress Jewel. It's like, all right, well, I went out and got you 10 radishes.
Well, it's funny because you can get
Now I
a
gotta go
request
back.
from somebody before you even have the correct skill. Because I
Yep.
remember going up to this cat and he was like, "Hey, meow, I want 5 fish. I'm hungry." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go. Wait, I can't fish. I can't disappoint the kitty.
But you're so cute, I
now
can't turn
I have
you
to
down."
go learn to fish just so I can give the fish to the kitty." And I did, and it was great. But
It's interesting that depending on what order you decide to do these quests, as you said before, that's going to shape how your character is turning out, because every time you do one of these tasks, that's affecting how your character's growing and changing and what kind of skills you're able to do.
Cat, dog, sorry,
Indeed.
animal. Animals give me some HP potions.
Yes, I love the animals in this game. They're so cute. And if you want to show us the bliss menu real quick. So it's really cool. Every time you complete a
Down
quest,
here, yeah.
whether it's one of the quests from your life classes or anything else, you get bliss points. And the more bliss points you get, you can talk to your to the butterfly in your room.
These
and
are all connected to the butterfly.
it all goes back to the butterfly,
It
but
does.
you get all of these different rewards that you can unlock, and when you reach certain, bliss milestones, I suppose,
Yep.
you get a new reward that you can choose from, and one is, you can ride a horse, you can ride a tortoise, you can get a bigger bag. My favorite is, you can have a dog or cat live with you in your room, and I was really surprised because I went straight for having a cat in my room, and then I
Right.
went up and talked to her. I was like, "Oh, you're so cute, hi kitty," and then there was the option like, "Oh, join your party." It's like, well, heck yes, I want Kitty on my party. And so then it was just me and my cat just running all over the world, going after enemies.
Nice. Yeah, and that's the thing, we talked about some of these, the pet system are, just about sort of they're aesthetic things, they don't really affect the gameplay, but they're fun.
Extra
They're
things
really
that-
cool
Yeah.
things that are just really
Make your
fun.
world a little cooler.
But then there's bliss bonuses that are really tied to things. Once you get a license to start riding your horse, you can just blitz through these areas super fast. You
I'm
got
really
the
intrigued
bag
by
is
tortoise
obviously.
riding. That sounds awesome.
What's that?
Riding.
I'm intrigued by tortoise riding. I haven't
Oh
opened
yeah,
that
these
one up
are the
for me yet.
fastest tortoises
You
you
haven't
have
lived
ever
until
seen.
you
Like they're
ride
kind
the
of
tortoise.
freaky. You jump on and suddenly it's like, and it's like, I
These
wasn't
aren't your
expecting that.
standard choices.
But in bags, you're gonna need to level up your bags. You're
Uh-huh.
gonna need more space because you're going to be collecting so many items. And so it's a good mix of things that you, again, choice, which I love about this game, choice. All right, I'm gonna switch back to a battle class real quickly because Audrey and I are gonna jump into some of the multiplayer.
We're going to show some big monsters who's
Yeah,
boss.
we're gonna go on a little.
Excellent.
We're gonna go on a journey here. I'm not sure where we're gonna go, what we're gonna do.
We're going to let our feet take us wherever they want.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, yesterday we showed folks who are watching the stream a little peek at the multiplayer, and what's really cool here is the entire world is your playground. When you bring somebody else into your world, it's not like there is one single area that you can have a multiplayer experience.
Uh-huh.
You just bring them in, and you guys can run amok in your world.
It's
you
really
can
nice.
collect resources.
I'm gonna go back to my minor.
You
Pick
really
up
get
bounties
to
together.
share your world with your friend. You're not just like, oh, let's go to this, little special stage or whatever. You really, you're inviting them into your world and sharing your life and your skills with them and working together. It's really interesting take on cooperative multiplayer.
Yeah, I think especially when the two of you are living different lives at the
Uh-huh.
time, because it's really nice to have the variety of options available to you when you're partied up together.
Oh, yeah, because you can have somebody who's a paladin, so they have a sword, so they get right up in the monsters' faces, and somebody who's, a hunter, so they can just sort of keep back from a distance. And I think that's probably what we're going to do this time, but
So I'm
yeah,
just
there's
showing-
endless possibilities.
Just run through the town real quickly. You see here's someone, one of the NPCs that she wants some royal eggs. She wants 5 baskets of royal eggs. She's gonna give me $300, $300 for it.
It's a little stingy.
I'll do it though, because hard work,
Yeah.
one dash at a time. So that is now added to my quest menu, and you'll go out and hopefully pick up 5 baskets.
Yeah,
of royal eggs.
another cool thing is we're going to jump into multiplayer, so we're not going to be able to show this, but as we keep saying, customization is a big thing here, and you actually get a house that you can customize in this too. And at
Yeah.
first you start off above Pam's little
Pam's house,
shop,
yeah.
exactly, and so you start off with this little, you're just living in an attic basically, and then eventually she's like, hey, it's getting a little cramped, isn't it? Don't you want to move? And you're like, yeah, I don't want to move. She's like, okay, that's going to be this much dash.
This
You're like,
sounds familiar to me
"Oh,
from
yeah.
another
Are you
character."
related to a raccoon? This isn't fair. But you really, want to do it, so you have to save up all of this dash, and then you finally get your own big house, and it's actually really cool. You can decorate it, you can put furniture in it, you can put,
Keep a pet there.
yeah, you can keep your pet there, you can decorate the wall, the floor, and so I remember when I turned into a hunter, I was so happy because someone gave me a stand for my bow. It's like, ooh, yay! This makes me happier than it should.
Yeah, I really couldn't believe how much time I spent in the town area, especially when I first started off, and I figured, I'm going to go kill some monsters. First thing, I'm just going to get out of here. But there's so much to do in this town space, and there's so many interesting NPCs and just areas to check out. I spent ages just running around trying to find out what people were up to, and then it's like, oh yeah, I guess I should go kill some monsters.
Right.
One more thing in the town, and then I'll go do that.
Yeah, well, I'll take a look at the overmap because I actually want to show that because you're right. It's just, content's huge, so many stories, so many quests. The world, though, to get a visual on it, is massive. And, to speak to the whole, sort of upgrading your house, moving out, getting different places to live in, it's also, again, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want. But at the same time, there are certain houses that you can buy in each area that then allows you to jump to that house immediately. So there is an aspect where things are integrated into the gameplay to help you navigate the greater map much easier once you purchase the couple houses.
There we
but
go.
They ain't cheap.
They're not
They
cheap.
ain't cheap. They're not making any more
You think
houses.
too,
so
because
invest.
you're like, we're friends. I've been living above your basement
Yeah.
for a while. You're gonna hook me up, right? She's like, no. You're gonna have to pay if you want to move.
There's one of the houses. It's like I think it was like 100,000 dash, and I was like, wait, is that right?
It's going to be
Is
a
that
really
for
nice
real?
house.
You added an extra zeros on there. Because I remember the first time I talked to her, she had 2 choices. She's like, so for, I don't know, 60,000 dash, you can get this dilapidated house. Doesn't that sound great? Or you can save up and get this really cool one here. It's like, well, I have enough for the dilapidated house, but I don't want to live in a dilapidated house. So I had to save up forever to get the really nice one.
You gotta
She's
earn
really
it.
got the art of the
Gotta earn it.
upsell
Gotta earn your
nailed
keep.
when it comes to the houses.
All right, Let's
All right,
see
so
if
you
we
see, I invited Audrey into my world here, and you know, and it's great. I mean, the multiplayer is a great experience. You know, I kind of likened it to the Four Swords feel that that we used to have back in the day, and I mean, it's great that we can now fully explore this. All right, I'm gonna take these guys out. That we can fully explore this world, each having our own visual on the screen.
Sweet,
There
sweet
you
dash.
go.
Wait,
We are
wait.
gonna go. Actually, let me show
Okay,
this over
okay.
map.
I
real
got
quick,
it, I
sorry.
got it.
So
I
check
didn't
this
see
out
it.
on the top screen. I mean, there are. I don't know exactly how many areas there are, but this entire map, there's like each region you see. You know, obviously the sort of unique geography. These are all accessible. All these places are going to open up on the top screen, and they all have their own unique items, characters, obviously. Wow, you really are vicious.
Are you
I'm
going to risk,
sorry.
risk the
Experience
Snapdragon
points.
here as
Wow.
well?
My
or-
friend,
All right,
experience points.
I just got sprayed. I think that I had.
I was really nervous here. I was afraid I had accidentally
didn't know
hit the
those birds
Napdragon. Look, he's. Oh, that's cold. He's hiding right near the Napdragon. You know my history with the Napdragon ostrich. What are you doing?
Audrey, don't do it.
I
Come with me.
won't.
Come with me.
Look, she's sort of looking back like, should I go? Oh, all right, Ed.
I saw that. It was like the gaze was locked in on the Snapdragon. All
I
right.
can't wait till you take down the Snapdragon at work, and we're just going to hear the.
You're just gonna hear the screams, and you'll know. You'll know what
Vengeance.
happened.
You see here, taking out these red wolves. Got some animal hide here.
Oh, and look here. I actually
Oh, there
have
you
a
go.
woodcutting skill, so I can cut these trees down and make Ed
Audrey's
really jealous
chopping.
about it. Yeah.
So you know, I picked up some animal hide that I can use later to make a sword. If I've got the right ingots, I can use. I can forge those into the metals, combine with the animal hide, make some swords. You were picking up some items.
Yeah,
Well,
I
just,
really,
you gave in to
I
me.
really need to become a blacksmith so I can make myself a better axe, because I can get those trees a little faster.
Yeah, there are. We're going in deep
just
here.
so much
There's
here.
I don't know. We might see some trees that
Oh.
you might have some real
Bear.
tough time with. Cuteness bear. I'm
All I
sorry.
see is experience points
I'm
in the
sorry.
making.
Nice.
No, he's asking for it. He's evil
All right,
bear.
so there's a bounty.
Oh, you had honey.
And now you just got to see if you. Are you going to get this out
Aw.
safe, or are you just going to smash it?
I'm gonna leave this here for now, and I'm gonna come back to it and hope that it's there.
This made me feel
I wanna
really
go
bad that he dropped honey, actually, because now I'm like, oh, he was just sitting there having a snack, and we just went and messed up his day.
And you see this
Fantasy
little,
life is hard life.
there's a little fishy silhouette there. You know, once you switch to angler class, you'll be able to grab those, and fish become, you know, their own resource as well. They're good for quests. They're good for cat quests, cat requests, and you know, you can do a lot of stuff with the cooking class with them as well.
Oh,
All right,
get
get
this.
this Applejack 8.
it's enough monkeying around. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. Oh, there you go. Nice.
No, no.
Oh, you know what? All right, Audrey, come with me.
Okay. Got the all-important
We're going to Mount
item.
Snow Peak, actually.
Oh.
I'm calling an audible. I told you. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Okay. Okay. Gotta hurry so we can make it to Mount Snow Peak. Oh.
Come with me.
You get to
All right.
live for now, Red Wolves. I'll come back for you later.
Because I want to show, some of the. I think we can get to it. You know, when you're traveling with a partner in multiplayer, one of the great things is that you're going to start encountering monsters and bosses that are really, really difficult for one person, regardless of how much you're leveled up. I mean, I have put hundreds of hours in this game.
Some of them are really aggressive.
And still, you know, you get to a point where you need other people. You need a party. I'm going to just get this right.
Oh, did you get the pot roast?
You need a party
Yes.
of people to help out, to take on some of these guys. I think there's some golems in the cave up here, so.
So start being nice to your friends now so that they'll help you get these big monsters and the big bounties. What? Get away from me. No.
I'm
have
running
time for
past
you
these laser
guys.
beaks because I just want to.
No.
I want to get us to the waterfall. I want to get us to the cave up here.
Oh, I love that cute little shopkeeper
Little
guy.
cottage. And if there's one thing video games have ever taught me,
Always
there's a
run behind the
waterfall.
waterfall.
Run behind it.
Yeah, I love the background in this section. It just gives you such a neat sense of perspective, especially when you've got the 3D
I
on.
got this dude.
It's just like
It's so
whoosh.
expansive.
I got a vendetta here.
See, now you know. I'm rubbing off on you.
Damn. All right.
Ooh, my
Very
archery
nice.
skill increased.
Okay, so
Nice.
we'll leave this here.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
I guess.
I know it's hard. I know it's
Okay.
so difficult.
There's
So
a bigger
bouncy
game up
left
there.
Behind. All right. Well, I'm gonna take this though.
Oh, come on.
All right. These cave bats are pretty nasty. They've
Look
got
at all
this
these
sonic.
different locations. This is such
Isn't
a
it?
big
Isn't it
world.
cool? Every place really has their own unique feel, and this is one of the places where, all right, you know, you're in this cave, and this is one of the spots where you're gonna come in here initially probably as a battle class, but what you're gonna see is so much tasty ore that you're gonna realize, wait, I want all of that, and I'm gonna have to come back as a miner in order to get that stuff. So
Yeah, crafting in these areas can be pretty dangerous, or as far as like gathering your resources, because if you're not quite that level yet, you figure, oh, I'm just gonna sneak in there, grab this stuff when they're
Yeah.
not looking, sneak back out.
no,
Especially that
yeah.
some of them have a really high number of enemies in the same location. And so you're like, oh, I'll just sneak up and go after this guy. Okay, now they're all coming
Run
after
away!
me. Okay, now I have almost no health.
Oh,
Retreat!
geez.
Retreat!
All
Oh,
right.
yes.
Minty ore,
The
minty ore. Licky geckos.
Oh, they're so cute.
But they have to
Little
die.
nighthawks.
They must.
As I shoot arrows at them, it's really the worst.
You're adorable, I swear. I'll remember you fondly.
This game makes me realize bad things about myself.
No, are there more? Is there another one elsewhere, somewhere? Ah, we left
Yeah,
it. All right.
he thought you could just retreat. That was your mistake.
All right, because check this out. Oh.
Oh, no.
How awesome is that?
No way.
Come on.
Oh.
So this
That's
is
gotta feel
something
good.
massive, and I want whatever. Oh, see, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I want whatever's inside. See, this thing, your SP runs out. You know, I can't do it with the normal, smaller mining moves. So I have to wait for my SP to recover. Do I have SP potions? Yes. And again, here I'm using the pouch on the lower touchscreen, which is fantastic because you can quickly access. Whoops. You can quickly access your items.
Awesome.
Well, I
In
don't think we're
battle.
going to have time
Yeah,
to
we're
see
probably
you
not going to have
finish
time to
it.
wrap this up, but
Ooh,
thank you
I'm
so much for
sorry.
showing us another look at this. And folks watching, I hope you're getting a better sense of how much there is going on in this game, and really hope you check it out when it comes out on the 3DS later on. So please stay with us. Next up, very excited, we're going to be giving you a
Oh,
deeper
that's
look
good.
at our brand new announcement from last night. That's codenamed Steam, coming from Intelligent Systems. Please stay tuned. In a few seconds, we'll be right back. See you soon.
Oh, my goodness. That was
Oh, you got it. Nice.